Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Keneally and this is my investment project. So for my agenda, what we're going to go over is introduction and goals, key investments, methodology and background, investment buy points and price history, trades by date, profit loss by investments, and our conclusion. Okay, so for goals, my initial plan was to diversify my portfolio and choose companies in all different industries. I decided to go with the healthcare slash medical field, the tech field, and then an auto manufacturer of EVs, electric vehicles. These companies are all very different, which is why I thought they would cover a wide range of what could happen in the stock market. And for key investments and methodology, basically the reason I chose these three companies, all these companies have in common is they're all American companies. They've all been well established and they all show potential for growth. This project is an experiment for how someone who is a novice might fare trading stocks. For a brief background in each company I'm going to give some highlights from my research as to why one might want to buy stock and invest in these selections of firms. Okay, so the first firm that I chose was Boston Scientific. It's an American medical supply company founded in 1979. They have been gaining an impressive growth in the med-surg market share. The renowned manufacturer of medical devices and products has a market capitalization of 74.18 billion. They have recovered faster than the rest of the business sector of med-surg after the pandemic. And within one of their divisions, Boston Scientific continues to expand its market globally. In the fourth quarter, sales increased 12% year over year organically last year. All franchises grew by double digits, fueled by new and ongoing product launches and continued global expansion. One of the ways they expand is by acquiring other medical companies that are related to medical supplies. Okay, and next, the second company is Microsoft. And Microsoft is an American company again that is founded in 1975. Microsoft is one of the largest broad-based technology providers in the world, and the company dominates the PC software market with more than 80% of the market share for operating systems. From 2016, price of 55.06 a share to 332.89 currently a share. It has increased 504.27%. Microsoft earnings are expected to grow 4.9% for the current fiscal year. Focused list stocks like Microsoft offer investors a great opportunity to get into a company whose future earnings estimates will be raised, potentially leading to a price momentum. Finally, we have Tesla. And Tesla is an American company that is founded in 2003. Tesla stock is up 51% so far in 2023, despite concerns of a slowdown in demand for the company's EVs related to auto loans being expensive, chances of a recession, and intensifying competition. Tesla's decision to reduce price was a response to Stokes sales growth amidst fears of slowing demand. The decision paid off because they sustained healthy demand for their EVs. In the first quarter, they delivered 422,875 vehicles, up from 36% from the prior period. The company expanded production capacity by increasing production from factories in Texas, Berlin, and Shanghai. Tesla is going all out to make the most of the end market opportunity on offer by expanding its production capacity and adding new models to its lineup. Tesla's focus on capitalizing on the EV opportunity by expanding its offerings with a cheaper option is also contributing to possible long-term growth. Investors looking to buy an EV stock right now would want to load up on Tesla before it's too late, especially considering its valuation. So all of this background research comes from articles published within a few weeks or a few days of my plunge into the investment market. Okay, so here we have a chart. It's showing the trades that I made by the date. So just to kind of show basically from the time that we in class had to name what investments we chose, that's where I started. So on 5/30/23 was the first move of any that I made. And so I basically bought the three stocks that I just went over. So I bought Boston Scientific, which was 50.46 a share, and I got 660 shares. Microsoft, I bought that day, same day. I got 99 shares of that, which was 335.23 at open. All the prices of the stocks that I got to were always at open for that day. And then finally Tesla, I bought at 210 a share, and I was able to get 166 shares. So I basically just split the $100,000, 33,333, split it evenly between the three companies. And then the next date where I made a move was on 6/5. And that's when I decided that I was going to unload one of the companies. And even though I made a small profit, I just chose to eliminate Boston Scientific. I thought maybe in this instance, maybe if I made a small profit, I would get out, and then I would, part of my strategy is that I plan to eliminate one of the three companies and then divert the remaining funds that I had left over to the other two. So that's what I decided to eliminate Boston Scientific and put half of the proceeds to the other two companies, which would be, in this case, Microsoft and Tesla. So then I split it evenly, had a small profit from Boston Scientific. It was $574 was what I had made at that point. And then it was 16,761 and 16,770 that I had to divert towards the other two companies. With Microsoft, I bought 50 shares, and with Tesla, I was able to buy 77. So that was yet another move. And then on 6/12, I reevaluated yet again and decided to shed some of the Microsoft stock, not all of it, but a good chunk of it. Because at this point, I'm tracking that Tesla is continuously growing. So with watching that, it seemed like the short-term growth was on trend, and they were growing at quite a good rate. So I didn't completely give up the Microsoft, but I gave up a lot of it. So at that point, I sold on 6/12 109 shares. And then I was able to buy 144 more of the Tesla. And then on 6/20 was yet another move. And this is pretty much towards the end of my time frame. I decided to sell the remaining 40 shares that I had of Microsoft and just keep going with the trend. And I diverted what I made from that and was able to buy 51 shares of Tesla, which was a grand total of I have now moved towards the most successful of my three, which was part of my strategy, was to see where I could shift my main focus to. And it seemed like Tesla was the one to just kind of go with. So at that point, I had a full total of 438 shares. And at that, one day later was pretty much the end of the time frame that I had to run on. So then I liquidated all the 438 shares that I had. So I actually did make a profit. So I went from 100 grand to 121,492.93. So the profit, as you can see on this chart, was 21 grand 479 and 88 cents was my profit. And this is a chart to go over the trades, what I did with Boston Scientific, the first company. The red star shows the first buy, and the green star shows the first sell. So that is, and it shows it it actually shows through the whole period, their ups and downs, their gains and their losses. It was kind of up and down throughout, but you can see that the first buy was 530 and first sell was 6.5, and I left it at that with the Boston Scientific, because again, going with my strategy, I was kind of planning on trying to funnel my shares to kind of shift towards where the success, where it was going, what was on trend and what was growing. Okay, next is Microsoft, and we've got the red stars indicate the buys. So here we've got the initial buy on 530, another buy on 6.5, and then it shows the selling, which was 6.12 and 6.20. So you can see again, we're kind of going up and down. So there's that. And then we've got Tesla. You can kind of see a somewhat steady climb throughout. And this is obviously where I decided to really focus my attention on. So the buys are all red stars show the buys. We got 530, 6.5, 6.12, and 6.20. And then the sell is the very last day of when I ended up liquidating and getting out of the market. And that's the green star, and that's on 6.21. So basically, this is just a quick little chart of, again, my profit and loss with the investments that I made. And as you can see, there was some gains and some losses. But at the end of the day, basically, I did make a profit of 21 grand in 492.93. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over my conclusion. And the conclusion is there were definitely some ways that I learned as I was making my investments, there were things that I learned, one of which is that you really need to get a grasp of your goal, whether your goal is to go with the short term or the long term. I think it makes a huge difference what you're focusing on, because this project this project was over the short term, but my inclination is to lean into the quote unquote safe bet. And since I have no clue what I'm doing, Microsoft felt like a tried and true choice. And even though as the project continued, I realized that you have to think on your feet and make adjustments as you go. I started to move Microsoft shares I bought and sell in order to follow my stock that was showing positive short-term growth, which was Tesla. One of the articles I read supported my line of thinking that if I had more time, Microsoft could be a good choice in the long run. With that idea that slow and steady wins the race, a philosophy I subscribe to. So since I'm not much of a gambler, I would go this route if I had been investing in the long term, which was not the case with this project. So I think that's a huge lesson to it's something that you definitely have to take into consideration as, are you looking at short-term growth or long-term growth? Um, so, and I crunched the numbers to see what it would look like if I had left all three stocks alone for the duration of the few weeks. And I would have made a profit of 14,573.61 by making no trades. So I would have made a profit. But by buying and selling based on the day-to-day data, I made 6,906.27 more. So again, having to change, adapt with the strategy of looking at the short-term growth, I made a bigger profit, and that profit was again 21 grand, 479. So the second thing I learned was that every time I did not have enough money to buy a full share, I would just have that money sit there. And what I would have done was, after multiple buys, when I had leftover cash on hand, I should have paid closer attention to that and pooled that money into buying more, even if it was only enough for one or two more shares. That money still could have been working for me if I had diverted it to another share in one of the companies. So basically, all in all, I feel like it was a successful experiment and project to dive into in the world of stock trading. And I feel I do have a better understanding of how it all works than I did when I began. All right. Thank you for watching. That concludes my video. Thanks, everyone.